Hello, and welcome to Aiken Pre-1 practice. Today we'll focus on the first part of the interview. Last time we practiced telling a story. Today, let's do it again with a different image. Follow along. Today I'll be guiding you through a practice example. There will be short breaks of about 10 seconds for you to think, but if you need more time, pause the video until you're ready to continue. Before you look at the picture, please read the topic sentence. Okay, are you ready? Next, check your starting sentence. Got it? Let's add that to our story. One day, a woman went for a walk at her local pond. Now, let's go into more details. Look at the woman's face. How does she feel? Think of a few words to describe her emotions. What did you think of? Was it any of these? Sad, surprised, disappointed, upset, concerned. You're probably familiar with these words, but remember, building vocabulary is important. If you hear or see any words you don't know in these videos, don't ignore them. Write them down and look them up. Okay, let's say the woman is surprised. Why is she surprised? What does she see? Let's make a sentence. She was surprised to see a lot of garbage floating in it. Remember, there are many answers. Mine is just an example. Let's continue building vocabulary. Garbage. What other words do you know that can describe the items in the pond? How many can you think of? Here are a few. Trash, rubbish, junk, and refuse. Finally, look at the thought bubble. What's wrong? Think of what you can say. Let's try this. She also could not find any birds in the pond. How did this make her feel? In our list from earlier, we included sad. But remember last time? Here's another way to use a negative. Unhappy. Let's connect this to the first part of the sentence. She also could not find any birds in the pond, which made her unhappy. As always, start with any text that gives time or location information. Our next sentence will start with a week later. A week later, what did the woman do? Look carefully at the picture and think of some ideas. Try to make some sentences either in your head, or if you'd like, write them down on paper. Then we'll compare the sample answer. Remember to pause if you need more time. Let's start with 10 seconds. Go. Okay, let's see our sample answer. A week later, the woman began a campaign to save the pond. Do you understand the word campaign? If not, add it to your vocabulary list. Next, look at the paper the woman is holding. What is it, and what is she doing with it? Maybe you thought of this earlier. She gave out leaflets to passers-by on the street. What are some other words for leaflets? Let's try handouts, flyers, and pamphlets. In the example, I've used the word passers-by to describe the people in the picture. But who else might they be? Think of some ways to describe them. These people might be neighbors or friends. Or we can simply call them the people in her community. We don't know who they are for certain, so it's up to you to decide. Next, try giving some more information about the leaflets. What is their purpose? Focus on the leaflets as the subject of your sentence. How about this? The leaflets asked people to help clean up the pond so that the birds would come back. Notice how we included the key information from the leaflet? Now, let's move on to panel 3. Again, we'll start with the text at the top to transition, so our sentence will start with a month later. A month later, what happened? Who is the subject in this picture? Will you talk about the woman? Is she alone? Will you talk about all of the people? Who are the people? Look carefully at this picture and think of some ideas. Go! Okay, let's try this. A month later, a lot of volunteers met at the pond. They cleaned up the garbage that was in there. The woman pulled a heavy old bicycle out of the pond. Now, that was a lot of information. 3 sentences with some good details. Let's break it down. First, the volunteers. There are 4 people in this picture, so we can say a lot of volunteers. What did they do? For this event, they first met so they could work together. And where did they meet? At the pond. It's good to consider the subject, their action, and the location to get more information into your story. Next, what did the volunteers do? Notice we use a pronoun, they, here, because it's more natural than repeating volunteers many times. So, they cleaned up. And what did they clean up? The garbage. And where? In there. Again, we already said that they're at the pond, so we don't want to be repetitive. Finally, the woman. What did she do? She pulled a bicycle out of the pond. But see, we included more information about the bicycle, such that it's heavy and old. Now, let's move on to panel 4, the final part of our story. Okay, you know what to do with this. Continue your story. Now take a good look at the picture. Take a minute to think about what you can say. I'll give you some hints. Think about the weather. Who and what are in the picture, and what are they doing? What has changed? What emotions can you include, and what is the cause of the feeling? Okay, what did you say about the weather? How about this? Next, let's talk about those birds. They are looking for food. Again, we don't know this from the picture, but it's important to add some of your own ideas to the story. It's not just about what you can see, but about what you can't. Show that you understand the deeper ideas behind the pictures. What is different from the beginning? The pond was completely cleared of garbage. And now emotions. We can guess that the woman is very happy because the work was worthwhile. Remember, if you don't know vocabulary, such as worthwhile, add it to your list. Now, let's put this all together into sentences. A year later, on a beautiful sunny day, lots of birds were at the pond looking for food, and the pond was completely cleared of garbage. The woman felt very happy that the work they had done proved to be worthwhile. And there you have it, your full story. Same as last time, practice reading through it out loud. Your goal is to read smoothly and clearly. You don't need to rush, but try to keep up a good pace. Then, try writing out and practicing your own story. Good luck!